Hey family, we have some major news coming out within the last 48 hours. More threats towards the United States for the potential of terrorist attacks. Yes, just last month, the FBI intelligence group notified Congress that they are receiving more chatter about the threat of terrorist attacks in the United States. And I want to share that with you today. Also, over the weekend, we are seeing more evidence that this is more likely than not to actually happen. Things are getting worse as we enter into the holiday week, and Americans need to start preparing just in case something actually happens. I've got the details to share with you in just a moment, but before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Starting off with a little bit of breaking news that happened last night. Apparently someone was driving sort of crazy and ended up running into one of the Secret Service's SUVs that was actually guarding President Biden. Yes, this was in regards to the President Biden's motorcade, which was outside of Delaware, his campaign headquarters, and some car came down and ended up crashing into the Secret Service's SUV. Now, of course, calm down. President Biden is okay. He was not injured at all. This was one of the cars that was a part of the Secret Service detail group in which that was used to shield President Biden's official motorcade in Washington, Delaware. This happened on Sunday evening, and the incident took place shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. President Biden was leaving his campaign headquarters, walking towards his vehicle, and the president was unharmed. The particular man that was driving the silver sedan crashed into this SUV about 200 feet from where President Biden was actually standing, and Secret Service personnel surrounded the vehicle and instructed the driver to come out with his hands up. It was pretty rather exciting, if you will. I'm sure that individual was definitely not expecting that to actually happen. I don't necessarily know whether or not he was drinking and driving or not, but anyways, this particular individual, he was an African-American guy, but anyways, luckily there was no harm to anyone other than the vehicle. So that is some great information. Now, moving on, guys, we talked about this previously, but just a month or two ago, there was a huge warning coming directly from the FBI in which he was warning, he told Congress that there is an increased terrorist threat that is going on right now, that the FBI is receiving different types of chatter on the news stations and underground tunnels and things of that sort in regards to a potential terrorist attack during the holiday season of this year.
Chilling warning from the FBI. The U.S. facing the highest risk of attack in years.
Officials saying terrorists will likely use the Israel-Hamas war to increase calls for violence in the U.S. this holiday season. CBS 2's Dick Brennan here now with more on this. Dick.
Well, Maurice and Christine, intelligence chatter is almost always elevated during the holidays, but this year, with the Israeli military bearing down on southern Gaza and Hanukkah only days away, the FBI director is really sounding a loud alarm. On Capitol Hill today, he testified before senators just how high the threat level is. The FBI says terrorists will use the Israel-Hamas war to increase calls for violence in the U.S. during the holiday season. The bulletin says the most likely primary targets include churches, synagogues, and members of the Jewish community. And the FBI director told Congress today that terror groups would try to exploit the southern border.
And yes, of course, they're saying that this terrorist attack is going to be in the United States on U.S. soil. And yes, he said that this is pretty much a dangerous period that we are living in right now, especially dealing with the unrest in Ukraine as well as right now in the Gaza area. And we're seeing more of this even over the last 48 hours or so. In fact, over the last 48 hours or so, or this weekend rather, there were some specific terror suspects that was actually arrested in Europe. And just to give you a little bit of a glimpse back what we saw previously, these terrorist threats that we were receiving, they were not just towards the United States. They were actually towards the United States as well as Europe, as well as a few other countries as well. And here we are just this weekend, guys. Specific terror suspects have actually been arrested, in which they are saying that they are including several linked, that was arrested, was linked to Hamas, who were allegedly plotting against the Jews. But anyways, in regards to this particular article, it says that Denmark was holding 2 people in custody and 4 others were were the target of terrorism investigation, according to a prosecutor. Authorities in Denmark did not immediately confirm any link to Hamas, which has long been designated as a terror organization by the United States, Israel, and most European nations. But authorities in Germany said that the 3 people arrested, they were members suspected of preparing for attacks against the Jews in Europe. The 2 suspects being held in Denmark were ordered to remain in a pre-trial detention until January the 9th. The whereabouts of the other 4 and whether there is an ongoing search for them weren't immediately known at this particular time. But anyways, officials in Copenhagen did not provide any details beyond saying that these specific arrests had threads abroad and were related to criminal gangs, singling out the banned predominantly immigrant gang loyal to Familia that had long been behind feuds, violence, robberies, extortion, and drug sales in the Danish capital. But anyways, that is just more than what we were expecting. But anyways, these were potential terrorist groups. They were trying to do harm to those individuals that live in Europe. And the question is, were they actually going to do this in Europe and then travel to the United States to do something similar? Or if they actually have others that are participating within their own organization that are already here in the United States? We don't necessarily know, because we have seen tons and tons of migrants or potential migrants entering into the United States in various locations on the southern border, and we still don't have any contact or whereabouts of those individuals. Not to mention those other individuals that actually ran over through the bus or by water that are actually in other states such as New York. We have seen a major influx in New York in regards to the migrants coming from other countries. But anyways, guys, a lot of people are wondering whether or not we actually have these specific terror groups or terror organizations already in the United States. A lot of people, including some people in Congress, believe that those individuals, potential terrorists, are actually sitting here on U.S. soil in the United States, which is a huge red flag right now, because President Biden refuses to close down the border altogether. And until that actually happens, individuals, migrants, and other individuals will continue to come into this country illegally and sometimes almost not illegally, if you will. But anyways, like I said, the terror potential threats are continuing to happen over and over and over again. And right here, we just seen this come out 2 days ago, in which the senior Hamas official has threatened Blinken, saying that America must pay the price for the Gaza blood, according to this particular report. Now, it says that a top Hamas official has called for violence against the allies of Israel, specifically attacking American and British interests as a price for the deaths of Gaza citizens. When Secretary of State Antony Blinken is justifying the killing of women and children, the sons of our nation should say to him, "You are the enemy," just like Israel Prime Minister Benjamin said, and you must pay the price, just like Netanyahu, don't know how to say that name, but anyway, that is the head of the political department of Hamas abroad. But anyways, these particular comments came, which the Middle East Media Research Institute translated the information and saying that, look, just a few days ago on December the 5th, after the end of the temporary pause that allowed Hamas and Israel to exchange hostages and prisoners respectively, Hamas runs the something TV network in the Gaza Strip, playing news and propaganda throughout the day. But the pause lasted from November the 24th until December the 1st, at which point Israel resumed its devastating ground campaign against Hamas, claiming that the terrorist group failed to uphold its side of the agreement. Hamas claimed that they had only soldiers left in their custody and refused to exchange them unless Israel released all Palestinian prisoners and agreed to a permanent ceasefire. But anyways, like I said, they are calling for war against the United States because of the blood that was shed in the Gaza Strip. And yes, they are serious about this. Now, exactly how they are going to do this, we still don't know. We still don't have any intelligence information in regards to these potential attacks upon the United States. However, like I said, there have been a lot of migrants entering into the country in various locations by train. I have a video that I do want to go ahead and share share with you in regards to that, but just a moment. But yes, we don't know necessarily where these potentials could be storing or could be hiding within the United States. We do know that they are very capable of hiding, creating tunnels underneath the ground, in which right here it says that Israel has just uncovered over the weekend one of the biggest Hamas tunnels, which is near the Gaza border. Check this video out right here.
Israeli forces battling Hamas said they had uncovered an unusually large concrete and iron-girded tunnel at the Gaza-Israel border designed to transport carloads of militant fighters. Chief Israeli military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said the tunnel was 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles long, stretching from Gaza City, once the heart of Hamas governance and now a devastated combat zone, to the Erez crossing at the Israeli border.
Without demolishing the tunnel project of Hamas, we cannot demolish Hamas.
Raising or disabling hundreds of kilometers of underground passages and bunkers is among the aims of the Israeli offensive. The military showed reporters the exit point of the tunnel, located just 100 meters south of the checkpoint at Erez. Hagari said it was the biggest tunnel Israeli forces have found near the border, without specifying whether it was used by Hamas for the October 7th attack. Generally, the tunnels shown to the media by the group or by the Israeli military after their discovery have been narrow and low, designed for single-file movement of gunmen on foot.
So yes, that is crazy. Did you see how large that particular tunnel was? That's pretty fascinating, if you will. Almost like the United States, we have subways underground. But anyways, Israeli forces battling Hamas said that they had uncovered an unusually large concrete and iron-gridded tunnel designed to carry carloads of militant fighters from Gaza right up to the border, raising of disabling hundreds of kilometers of underground passages and bunkers is among the aims of the offensive Israel launched after Hamas gunmen went on a killing and kidnapping spree in the southern towns of Israel. So anyways, guys, that is insane. Like I told you, those particular tunnels are insane. But just as I mentioned earlier, I did say that individuals, migrants, are entering into the United States in various different ways, using the southern border as a potential access point. But anyways, I do want to go ahead and show you some crazy video in which how these migrants are entering into the country, in which you can see right here on this particular video. It says that over 11,000 migrants crossed over into the United States in 24 hours. Can you imagine if 11,000 migrants cross into the United States every 24 hours? How much could that actually be within a 1 week time frame? But anyways, I'll let you ponder on that just real quick. Watch this video right here, guys.
You can see men pull this woman over razor wire and a shipping container to safety. This may look like an obstacle course, but it's migrants illegally crossing the Rio Grande River into the U.S.
This is an everyday thing.
On Tuesday, an already overwhelmed Border Patrol was hit with a massive group, and more are on the way. New exclusive Fox video shows thousands of migrants waiting to catch trains in Mexico bound for the U.S. Maverick County Constable Beto de la Torre says they've seen this before.
I mean, it got crazy. They were just hopping on the train, and you could see them running off the train and everything. So, I mean, it got really bad. We've gotten children with no parents at all, just with information on their shirt.
So yeah, like you can see, guys, this is crazy. This is just a very easy access for them to be able to come over into the country. But what are we going to do about it? When are we going to close our borders? Because that is the main issue right now in regard to these unidentified individuals that are coming over into the country. We don't know whether or not they are actually good or whether or not they are actually bad. But regardless of that, there is no documentation, there is no warning, there is no information in regards to how many who is actually coming over, and we've got to do something about it if we want to prevent the idea of any type of terrorist attacks here in the United States. But anyways, I do want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think about this idea? What do you think about this potential terrorist attacks during the holiday season? We are within less than 1 week from today, in which we are entering into Christmas Day. Hopefully, guys, we don't see any type of attacks here in the United States. But until then, guys, let me know what you think about this. And other than that, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, that's all we have for you today, but feel free to check out some of the items down below in the description. There are a couple of opportunities for you to earn some free money or some free cash, such as signing up with Rakuten, which is the #1 cashback website out there. And right now, they're giving you an additional $30 bonus just for signing up and using it for the first time, which is a great opportunity once you pair Rakuten with Amazon, because right now you can receive 30 days for free for the Amazon Prime membership, which you only have less than a week to go ahead and get those last minute Christmas shopping out of the way. So why don't you go ahead and sign up for this free Amazon Prime membership, 30 days for free, and then attach it to the Rakuten where you can receive some additional free money on top of your purchases. But anyways, those are just a few. Check out them down below. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.